All right. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Today I have a very, very special guest with us, Ha Y N Fishkeeper, the one, the only. I'm going to ask him a few questions today. Today he came out to visit us with a meet and greet here at our shop, so we're so grateful and thankful that he got to come out with us. But before I get to those questions, how is it being down here in SoCal?
Love the weather, hate the traffic. Two things, right? Love the weather, hate the traffic. But I miss it, man. For those of you guys that don't know, I went to school out here. So I actually moved here to the mainland when I was about 8 years old. Southern California, lived in Anaheim, went to school, Western High School, Go Pioneers, huh? And yeah, so this is kind of like my home. I mean, I grew up here. So
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know that. You know, I always talk about SoCal. I got family that still live out here. My brother lives out here. So when I do come out here, I visit them. And then, of course, I visit my other brother, Nolan. So this is like my home, you know. I do miss the weather because it's perfect. I live in Northern California right now, and it's like Africa hot out there. It's like 110 degrees out there. But here, I mean, I woke up this morning, it was like 72.
Fresh.
I had a nice little sweatshirt on. You know, I want to go down to the beach and just rub my feet in the sand because these feet need the sand. Because if you guys don't know, I'm an island boy doing island things. I had to throw that one out there.
Well, you actually answered one of my questions. So I wanted to ask you,
I'm super nervous, man. I'm like in the hot seat right now.
were you born in Hawaii?
Yes, born in Hawaii, moved to the mainland when I was about 8 years old.
Which island?
Oahu, on the North Shore, not in Waikiki, North Shore. Shout out to Laie, little town on the North Shore where all the big wave surf is. Yeah, and then moved to the mainland and went to school in Anaheim. Yeah, and then moved to when I got older, I moved to Newport Beach area. So
When did you move up north?
2002, 2001, 2002.
Okay.
So moved out there.
Why'd you move up?
Well, I moved there. I don't know if you guys would want to do this. I'm talking to all the guys out there. I moved there for a woman, which that's a big move.
That's what I was gonna guess.
That's a big move, right? And so your boy rolled the dice,
Yeah.
and I crapped out. Didn't work, but it's okay. It's okay. I found the love of my life, Renee. Shout out to wifey, and yeah, so it worked out. It was for a reason. I moved out there, and things worked out right. So, but not to set the mood on a bad note or anything like that. My ex-wife and I had a beautiful son together. Love him to death, and that's why we're out here. He had a basketball tournament in Anaheim here, so yeah, that's kind of like the skinny version of my life. So in a nutshell.
So your son is a baller. I want to know, what were your basketball skills back in the day? Because I know earlier you had posted you went to a park where you would tear it up, and
Yeah.
Do you have any video proof of you? What's your ability back then?
Yeah, I do have proof, but it's on a thing called a VHS tape, with a lot of people don't know what those are anymore. I'm pretty sure the cameraman behind the camera has no idea what a VHS tape is, or a beta.
Probably wasn't
max.
born yet.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the kind of video I have. I do have. There's one I have it floating around somewhere in high school. I was nowhere near on the level of my older son, Kainoa, who's 16 years old. I always tell him he could probably beat me one-on-one, but the mental toughness, I got him, because you know how kids are nowadays. They're just soft, you know what I mean? But I'm old school, so I know I raised my 3 sons, which I have 2 younger ones. I raised them old school, so I try to make him mentally tough. And yeah, he's a tough kid. He would ball me out, though, if I was 16 and he was 16. Yeah, he would break my ankles. I mean, he does some things.
Yeah, some
just,
moves.
he's insane. But it's fun. His basketball journey is super fun. So.
All right. So I do want to ask, when did you start fish keeping, or what was it that got you into the hobby?
Okay, so fish keeping, this is kind of a funny story. You guys will appreciate it. So we moved from Hawaii to the mainland, and this was like 79. Aquariums were pretty popular, and they were new to us, coming from the island. And, we're coming
from the island, there wasn't much, right?
No, because we have the best aquarium, which is the ocean, right? We have the corals, we can go snorkeling. So for us islanders in Hawaii, we never thought of keeping an aquarium in our house, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then when we got here to the mainland, it didn't hit us right away. We would see people, like we would go into stores and be like, oh my gosh, they have a fish tank. But we weren't familiar with freshwater fish at all. We knew saltwater fish, but we didn't know them as pets. We knew them as food, right? We would go and we would spear with spear guns, or trolling with nets and stuff, or fishing with poles. So this whole aquarium hobby was something new. And my uncles were all infatuated with it. So they were like, oh my gosh, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get a fish tank. So like there was a competition in the family. They would be like, somebody got a 50 gallon and somebody got a 75 gallon. And oh my gosh, Uncle Frank got a 100-gallon tank. So I remember they would keep like red devils were one. Yeah, it was crazy. But us as a family, we had a 20-gallon tank, and it was kind of a family thing. We would go to the local fish store, and we each got to pick a fish. Have no idea about aggressiveness, community. So I remember.
So was this the early 80s? Or
This was probably about 82, 81.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
right in that range there.
Okay.
I'm revealing my age for you guys. All right? And so, anyways, you know, I remember my mom, I think she picked an Oscar fish. This was the lineup in a 20-gallon tank. Okay, these were small fish, but they were all wrong. We mixed them up. We had a betta, we had an Oscar, we had a pleco, we had a catfish, the glass catfish, one of those in there, and there was 4 of us in the family, so that's the 4 fish that we had. And of course, who do you think won? The Oscar. So the Oscar was the only one living, and then those 3 fish would be gone, and then we would go on to the next one, which would be, you know, I don't know, we would go back in there like numerous times. The Oscar was always alive, and so we would go back, get new fish, and then the funny thing is the fish store employees would see us and be like, what are you guys doing? What kind of fish you guys have? And so we were talking. Then they kind of, you know, gave us a lesson on what fish go with what fish. We didn't know anything about community fish or aggressive fish or, you know, all those like what are those the super like predator fish. We had no idea about those. So that was our experience. And then we got out of the fish tank. It was so funny because the fish hobby. But I remember my dad cleaning the aquarium, emptying it completely out, completely empty. And so with that being said, he pretty much killed all the beneficial bacteria. He would rinse out the gravel and then put everything in there.
Clean?
Oh yeah, squeaky clean, which is a no-no in the hobby. So that's the level of IQ we had for the aquarium hobby. So yeah, it was pretty fun.
Okay. All right. So what is it about koi, or why are you so intrigued with koi?
Oh gosh.
I love koi.
Yeah.
I have a few.
Ooh,
I have
nice,
a few
man.
right here.
Nice piece,
But
dude.
so what is it?
Okay, so the koi fish thing, I've always loved koi fish. I didn't know anything about koi fish though. So infatuated with koi was I was running out of room in the house to have aquariums. So I had a little piece of area in the backyard.
Yeah.
I have a shovel, and so I thought to myself, why not just dig a hole and create
like a hard shell or like a liner?
No, a liner. I just went to Home Depot. I went the real
A lot of
cheap
people go to Home Depot and start their first
DIY
pond.
route. You know what I mean? So I got like a 10 by 20 liner, dug a hole, created about a 500-gallon pond, and it was one way of adding another quote-unquote aquarium to the house, but it was on the outside. I made it nice, grabbed some rocks. It was all a DIY project. And so with getting the koi fish, 500 gallons is a lot, but I had like 4 koi fish in there. That's not really a lot,
not
you know?
much.
So I knew I had to go bigger, and then I just got into it. I'm like, I'm going to create this bigger. So I called it Tiki Falls, and then from Tiki Falls, I went to Tiki
so
Falls.
that was kind of in recent time
That
we
was,
started getting into
I think
koi.
it was about 2 years ago. 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I'm still fairly new, and I'm learning a lot from people in the hobby too. So
Do you still have your first koi?
I do.
Oh.
I have my first 2 koi that I bought. They're in the above ground pond. And the thing about the pond is I've upgraded it so much. I'm at Tiki Falls 4.0 now, which is going to be about a 4,000-gallon koi pond. So it's going to be a major job, and it's just me and my buddy doing it. And I don't know if you guys saw the videos or not, but it's a job.
Yeah, totally.
But it's totally coming together. We broke ground. We have an excavator. We created at least the outline of the pond. And it's going to be a great, beautiful home.
What's the expected finish date?
Oh gosh, it's so hit and miss, man.
Ballpark?
I'm going by my buddy's schedule. I'm hoping it's done by the end of summer. So I'm gonna say.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Close.
Well, I mean I'm just saying.
Yeah. No pressure. No pressure.
September, October-ish.
Okay,
I'm hoping.
Okay.
I definitely want to get it done before the rainy season.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, our soil out there is like a clay base. So when it gets wet, it's super thick, and it's not even cool to even you can't even dig it. You know, it's so thick and hard. So we'll see what happens. That's the goal, man. we started digging it. I'm like, what the hell did I do here, man? It's just,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work, but I do have the pond liner, which I upgraded the pond liner to a 45 mil with that Firestone EPDM
Yeah.
rubber liner. So I upgraded the liner. I still got to get like underlayment for that because it's kind of rocky where we're at. I might have to get a couple yards of sand to give it a nice soft base in the pond. Just trying to do it right because I want to do it one time.
So you're not doing like the carpet, the
No,
cheap.
no,
You're
I'm
going
not
all
doing.
out.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it right. It just
Okay.
it's just a lot of money, man, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of work, and
Physical
so
labor.
it is. So YouTube. That's where all the YouTube money goes is to try to get that pond up and going. So, that's so. I fell in love with the koi hobby, and it's so funny because I sometimes get caught up in just koi.
Yeah.
I forget, not literally forget, but I forget about making content about my aquarium fish, and I'm like, gosh, everyone's like, hey, what
I'm
happened
sure
to that
everyone
fish?
loves the koi though. You know what I mean?
Yes and no. I mean, I do get a lot of people saying, oh, I love the koi, oh, so cool, educational, blah blah blah. But then I get a handful of people who are like, hey, okay, enough with the koi. I want to see the aggressive fish. I want to see your peacock bass, or I want to see this, and I'm like, I gotcha.
That's one of the wonderful things about freshwater is that there's all different types between, nano, tiny, you have koi, monster fish, predators, friendly fish. There's so many different options.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. So, yeah, that's how my koi journey has been, and I've been stuck on koi. I've been hooked.
Yeah,
I've been buying koi like every week on website, Koi Enterprise. It's just been it's out of control. So I gotta like reel myself back in.
Yeah.
I gotta focus on the prize, which is getting that pond done.
It's getting there.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's just gonna be a slow process, but I'm hoping to finish, like I said, towards the end of this summer, fallish.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
All right, well, definitely I'm going to go visit you once it's done.
You're absolutely
go check it out.
invited whenever, man.
But I do have one more question. I myself am a married man, so I want to know, how do you navigate, with wifey between, your fish cleaning duties, doing your fish stuff? Because for me, I have a shop here.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to find that balance too. So, do you have any tips for the married people out there and how to keep their spouse happy while they're maintaining their tanks?
Okay, if I was to give a tip for everybody out there, first off, just so you guys know the background, my wife is not a big fan of aquariums, so I'm stuck in a position to where she's like, okay, our house looks like a fish store because we have 10 aquariums in the house, and she's not about aquariums. So we made a deal. She gave me the garage, so I'm converting the garage into the fish room, which I'm gonna call Tiki Lounge. So that's what's going on with that. So
the whole garage?
The whole garage. I get the whole garage. Yeah. So I really want to. I know. So I really want to make it really nice and take my time with that too. So I got two big projects, which is Tiki Lounge and Tiki Falls.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And so we made a deal. God bless my wife. Love her to death. Without her, this wouldn't be possible because she knows the fish hobby makes me happy. And she loves me that much.
Yeah.
And not only that, though, I'm a basketball coach on top of that. So it's kind of my yin and my yang, right? So I'm in pressured situations where I got to make decisions. You got ironic or crazy fans and parents, and you got whistles being blown, and the game is fast. And then I get to come home. Water changes are very soothing for me, even though a lot of people don't like it. It's very therapeutic for me. Watching my fish eat and swim. I get to just wind down, and I highly suggest anybody, even in a professional field, to get an aquarium. It's a known fact that it's like feng shui, and it relaxes your mind. You can have a stressful day at work, and you can come home and look at your aquarium and sit down and maybe have a drink or a drink, if you know what I mean, and relax and look at your aquarium, and you can just feel your body calm down. The running water, the fish swimming. So I highly recommend everybody. You don't have to be a coach, but it does help. It does help the stress level and all that. So it's my yin and my yang. I come home, it relaxes me, it puts me grounded, and so with wifey, or if I can give somebody advice out there, anybody out there, I would say ask for forgiveness instead of permission. Okay, that would be my, because it's easier to ask for forgiveness, right? Just go and do it, right? Just if you want another tank or if you want a fish tank, just do it, set it up, and she'll be pissed.
Heard it here. He says this. He gives this advice. Okay?
She's gonna be mad. She's gonna be pissed. But then you just go, I'm so sorry, babe. So it's a lot easier. You can buy her some roses. You can take her out to dinner. You can schmooze her, and then she'll be like, I guess the tank isn't that bad. But you got to set it up nice though, so she can accept it. Though that would be my 2 cents. I don't know if it's gonna help.
I I'm sure it will.
It didn't for me though.
All right, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you guys subscribe and follow Hawaiian Fishkeeper. Stay tuned for all his reels and all his videos and posts. All right, guys. We appreciate the time. Thank you,
Hey,
sir.
my man.
All right,
Aloha, guys. Take care.
All right, thank you, guys.
Stand tall and hold tight. Overcoming obstacles is the objective in life. Doubt us all the night, and until then you shine bright. Cause inside your head